Hi, dear children, how are you? I think you all are well and good. Are you ready to attend the class? Yes. Can you remember what we discussed last class? Yes. We started our geography 4th lesson, agriculture, and we discussed the main features of Indian agriculture, basic ideas of Indian agriculture. After that we started 3 types of farming. Then one type of farming we discussed, that is primitive subsistence farming. So today we can discuss the second type of farming, that is intensive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming. Okay, like primitive subsistence farming, we have to understand what are the specialities of intensive subsistence farming. Last class we discussed specialities of primitive subsistence, and what are the specialities? We can discuss one by one. First one, this type of a farming, it is practiced in areas of a high population pressure on land. Where there is there are high population density or high population pressure is there, such areas we can see this agriculture activity. Which one? Intensive subsistence farming. Got it? And also it is labor intensive farming. Skilled laborers are needed, labor intensive farming. Primitive subsistence farming, family members and community members will be the laborers, but not like primitive farming. In intensive subsistence farming, that means that means labor intensive, more laborers are needed. Okay. And third one, very high dose of a biochemical inputs are needed. Biochemical inputs are using all the pesticide, insecticides and everything, manures, everything it is adding, not like primitive subsistence. Okay. And modern irrigational facilities are there needed for this intensive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming, only the farmers are waiting for the monsoon season. But here in intensive subsistence farming, most modern irrigational facilities are needed, and also for a higher production. But because of the right to inheritance, what do you mean by right to inheritance? Paramparya Swatavakasha Niyamam. Okay, right to inheritance. Pidavinte Sottile Makkalkulla Avakasham. Division of a land happened. If one agriculture farmer, he has 4 children, and for him 1 acre of a land is there, means after him or after his death he want to divide this land area for his 4 sons or 4 children. So the land it is divided for the 4 children. Got it? So because of the law of inheritance, the division of a land it is happening. Before that, the farmer or the father cultivated 1 acre of a land together. So he can use all the techniques, everything it is, and the produce also will be very large. But because of the law of inheritance, Avakasha Niyama Pragaram, Sottu Veedam Vechu Nalganam. So the land also cutting and dividing. So division of a land is happening. So farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land. So the farmer divided his 1 acre of a land for his 4 children, each 4 sons, each son got 25 cents of land. So with that 25 cents of land, what he will do? He will pressurize the land to get maximum produce or products from the agriculture products from the land. So he will use fertilizers, most modern techniques and fertilizers, and he is pressurizing the land to get maximum products. Got it? So there is no alternative source of a livelihood. Why there is a why the farmers are pressurizing the land? Because he has no other livelihood for him. He is depending this land for to get earning or to get income. With that products he is selling in the market and earning and running his family or giving or earning livelihood. So maximum land the farmers are pressurizing. So enormous pressure on agricultural land. So these are the important things to remember from the intensive subsistence farming. Very simple. Once again my dear children, I will tell you, second type of farming, it is intensive subsistence farming. The speciality it is, that means practiced in areas of a high population pressure area, this farming is practicing. Labor intensive farming, second one it is labor intensive farming, and using high dose of a biochemical inputs are using, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, etc. And modern irrigational facilities also using, and also because of the right to inheritance, division of labor it is happen. So maximum maximum the farmers are pressurizing the land to get maximum products. Okay, and so these are the important things you have to understand related with the intensive subsistence farming. Got it, dear children? So next we have to discuss commercial farming. Commercial farming, that means for the trade purposes, for the commercial purposes the agricultural activities is doing, that is commercial farming. So what are the specialities? Like primitive subsistence and intensive subsistence, there are some specialities of a commercial farming also. What are they? We can discuss one by one. First one, using high dose of a modern inputs. All the inputs are modern, high yielding variety seeds, tractors are there, different techniques and tools and most modern technologies are using, high dose of fertilizers, everything it is using. That is why it is known as a high dose of modern inputs. High yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, etc. Why? Because to higher productivity. The aim of this agricultural activity, it is for the trade. So to get high productivity, farmers are using these modern inputs. I think you got it. Am I right? Next, the degrees of commercialization of agriculture different from region to region. The degree of commercialization of agriculture is different. വ്യത്യസ്ത ഏരിയകളിൽ റീജിയണൽ ഇതിൻ്റെ തീവ്രത അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇതിൻ്റെ രീതി it is different. Okay, for example, if you are taking one example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab. Rice is a commercial crops in Haryana and Punjab, but in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. I think you got it, the difference. Odisha rice is a subsistence crop, avarku nilanilppinulla krishiyana. But the rice is a commercial crops in Rajasthan and Haryana and Punjab. And also plantation is also a type of a commercial crop. Plantation, you might have heard plantation corporation. You know Munderi seed garden, part of plantation. Nearby Muttikadavu, that is a part of plantation corporation. Okay. So my dear children, plantation is a type of a commercial farming. Then in this type of a farming, a single crop. What do you mean by plantation? In plantation area we can see that a single crop, or a crop, or vela, it is growing in a large area for the commercial purposes. One single crop growing in a large area to get higher productivity for and for a commercial purposes, it is known as a plantation. I think you got it. And The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. What do you mean by why it is saying that plantation is an interface of agriculture and industry? Yes, we can discuss. That is, plantations cover a large area of land using more capital intensive inputs. What do you mean by capital intensive inputs? കൂടുതൽ മുടക്ക് മുതൽ പണം ആവശ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള വസ്തുക്കൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന കൃഷി, such as that means fertilizers are there and pumps are there, tractors are there, other tools and equipments are there. These all modern inputs. So plantation cover a large area of a land using most modern inputs, and migrant laborers, skilled laborers are needed. That means the laborers are coming from out of state. Okay, so migrant laborers are needed, and also they to practice it, to do it agricultural activity, migrant laborers are needed. And all the products are for used for the raw material for a different industry. That is also another speciality of the plantation or commercial crops. Most of the products of these plantation and commercial, it is used for the industrial raw material. For example, banana plantation, cocoa plantations, rubber plantation, sugarcane plantation. These all are commercial crops. വാണിജ്യ ആവശ്യത്തിനുള്ളതാണ്. So they are growing in a large area using large, most modern inputs are using. And these all produce are using for the raw material for a different types of industry. Cocoa, it is also using for making the chocolate and all, I think. And also for a rubber, latex industry, tire, rubber, eraser, etc., gum, etc., it is making from the latex or the rubber. And also sugarcane, it is for sugar industry. It long lasting for 1 year. Harvest will occupy, or it will lasting up to 1 year. Okay, so most of these plantation crops or commercial crops, these products are the raw material for one another industries or another industries, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, etc. In India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana are important plantation crops. Different countries, different types of the commercial crops or plantation crops are there. But in India, tea, coffee, rubber, banana, etc. are the important plantation crops. In this case, plantation crops production is that means mainly for a market. It is other than food grains. So the main aim, it is a market. So well developed network of a transport and a communication connecting in these plantation crops. Well developed network of a communication and transportation facilities are needed to carry these products to and to reach different industrial areas or the factory areas. These are the raw material for a different types of industries. So these raw materials we have to reach to different areas of industries, different industrial areas or factory areas. So communication facilities are needed, transportation facilities are needed, banking is needed, everything it is needed. Okay. And processing industries and markets plays an important role in the development of a plantation. That means processing industries, fruits processing industries, and the industries and a market plays an important role. For market and processing units are playing vital role in the development of the plantation. Plantation vijayichu pogunnathu thanne because of the marketing facilities and the processing industries. Processing industries nadakkunnathu kondum and the marketing facilities, both are the most important two factors of this plantation crops or a plantation activity. How? That means latex, you know that. For example, if you are taking latex, it is a raw material for different industries. So this it has its own market facilities it is needed, and also it has processing industries are there. So these two making this rubber plantation a well developed one. I think you got it. Well developed market system make a successful development of these industries. Well developed market system. You know that each and every product needed marketize, or we have to marketize the products. So a well developed network of a market is needed for the selling and buying activities of these products of a plantation and commercial crops. My dear children, I think you got these about the commercial plants or a commercial plantation also included plantation also. So we discussed, we completed 3 types of farming. Which are they? Primitive subsistence farming, second one intensive subsistence farming, and the third one commercial farming. These 3 are different. I think you can identify, you can differentiate between these 3. Am I right? If you have any doubts, you can call me, I will clear it. Okay. So today we are concluding our topic. I think you got it. Read the area, understand it, and maximum you find out one word questions and answers, practice it your own. Okay. So thank you. We can meet again next class.